What is going on? I'm ZMOT. First up, throw code ZMOT in your creator boost right there, spelled ZMOT. Or if you're from the States, ZMOT. If you're from somewhere else that calls it Z, please do let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we have already done our Mega Crab sneak peek, so you know why we're here. Plus, I suppose there's a thumbnail and a video title, but ignoring that, we are here for Season 38 abilities. Now, yes, this name's already been used in Season 22. We are going to completely and utterly ignore that, except for the fact that I just didn't ignore it. And we're going to jump into the tech tree. Now, first of all, we're going to go over some notable details. First of all, there is only 50% troop health. And in seasons with low troop health, there has been a lot of grumbling because troops die. So I figured I'd point that out first of all, scrolling all the way to the end of the tree. Don't worry, don't have to worry about pausing. We'll come back through here. No other troop health to be seen. Secondly, there's only 100% troop damage, and even that has an asterisk next to it because if you notice right about, where is it? Right about there, we get our first troop damage. If we keep scrolling over to the side, the next troop damage is after 7 engine rooms. So how many people will actually get there? I don't know. So just basically 50% is what I'm going to say. Next up, building damage. Look at building damage. We get it right off the bat there. Right out of the gate, you get the access to the building damage, and then scrolling. You don't get the next one till up there, and you have to go kind of out of your way to get there through some extra defenses. Now, the choice nodes next up. Actually, no, sorry, let's go to building health first. Building health, same. Is that what we just talked about? No, I don't think it was. Building health is up next. And building health, there's no artillery, there's no barrage early on, so it's not a big deal, but we don't get our first building health until about there, and it is out of the way, just like flares. Flares are the heck out of the way, so if you're rushing through things, you're not going to have flares, but we saw last season flares weren't a big deal. Keeping on going, building health, just like troop damage. Most people aren't going to get that, but that's going to be a huge differentiator at the 7 engine room level. So 50% troop damage, 50% building health for most people, except for the people that reach the very end of the tree. So there's your incentive to go super duper lean and get towards the end of the tree. Next up, like we talked about, flares are out of the way. You have to go down and out to get to flares, but if you go down to flares, you also get building health. So maybe not going there right away, but there's a lot of people who are likely going to come back for flares and that building health because uh, artillery is going to be coming in. But one great thing about this season, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you this image. I'm not. This is what the season came out as in the first case for testing, and look at that. Could you imagine if medics were the only troop? That would have been absolutely and utterly insane for people starting at level 1. They would have just quit the game essentially. Impossible to get the keys to get to zookas. So thankfully that was caught by the dev team and the boom tubers. So things are looking up. We're going to start out with a heavy rush. Heavy Zooka going to come into play very quickly though, because every single person is going to get Zookas. I assume, actually, I guess they don't have to get Zookas, but we'll have to look at what the fastest route through there is. Getting into the 3 engine room level. 3 engine room level, troop health going to make all the difference in the world. So if you are not engine room locked, I don't think anyone actually is engine room locked. Yeah, everyone can get there. So do go get that next engine room. And then just be aware, one thing to be very aware of, shock mines are before seekers, which is good, but shock launchers are after seekers. So the first real runaway troop, like, sure, you're going to have heavies, you're going to have zookas, you're going to have medics, you're going to have rifles, you're going to have cryoneers, maybe grenadiers, but none of those are the troop that's going to like propel people into like gold, diamond, super quickly. There's no seekers here, there's no buses here, there's no rocket choppas here, there's no warriors here, so there isn't going to be that runaway troop, and people who are going to be heavy rushing likely won't have flares, and there's no brick. So it's going to be fairly even for the first couple days until people start to get into bombardiers or critters or artillery. So once people start to pick up one of those things, you're going to see the people who have more tech start to run away with things. But as soon as those seekers come out, those seekers are going to be an absolute game changer. So be aware, seekers are coming. So if you're thinking about spending some extra tokens and going and getting Kavan early, maybe not the best idea, because seekers are going to ruin your life because you won't have shock launchers. Just a quick FYI, figured I'd throw that out there. And then Super Warriors, I'm very curious to see if Super Warriors are going to be good enough to take down engine rooms, or if they're going to get killed by cannons and boom cannons and things like that. So, because obviously boom cannons are here and cannons are back here, those should be good enough to take out the Super Warriors, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Next up, on the gunboat, you'll see there's nothing to use the gunboat on, so save those tokens. Don't go spending your tokens on the gunboat, because there's nothing to use your GBE on early on. Sure, you might have crystal shields or flares later on, but for right now, don't upgrade that gunboat. Save your tokens for things like the landing craft or your heavies. Moving down the tree, all of these choice nodes, we've been requested where putting a defense and an offensive troop in here, or an offensive ability in here, just to make a different meta. Not in this version. In this season, it's all you pick a defense. Now there is going to be some extra rocket launchers, as you can see right there, the potential for them anyways, but not getting the option to pick like troop damage instead of rocket launchers, for example, or troop damage instead of building health. That would be absolutely amazing, but we're not there yet. If you go up and get mechs this season, please let me know. I'd love to see a screenshot of that, because those mechs are completely and utterly useless. On the plus side, they're off in their own cul-de-sac hanging out. So pretty good season with a couple warnings there. Without instant training, the troop health numbers being low scare me a little bit. I would love to see a little bit more troop health. Interesting season in the fact that the boosts, the bonuses are low. We're not getting up into 150% or 200%. Shock mines, I mean, it's going to be interesting, because everyone who goes through bombardiers, everyone's going to be rushing to get to bombardiers, and then seekers are going to wreck them. So not having shock mines, maybe you're going to get that extra engine room and then go backwards and get shock mines. But without shock mines, those seekers that are going to be covered with smoke are going to be absolutely devastating. So there, my friends, is my sneak peek. The season is meant to be a short one, I do believe. And the easiest way to check that, of course, is to look at the keys. So in these right here, come on, checking out the tokens here, 15 in the wooden chests, up to 16 in the stone tier, and then up to iron we get 18, and then the usual big jump, 20 in gold, and then jumping up even higher to 25 in diamond. And for those of you who get there, 30 keys in legendary. Now those legendary keys, to get towards the end of that tree with the extra building health and that building damage and those yellow school buses, going to be absolutely insane towards the end of the season. Next up on our list, I need to show you guys the decking. This is the 2 engine room deck. That is probably going to be something like this, with an engine room back here and an engine room back here. I assume everyone's going to be doing things like this, and the fact that people don't have flares, you're going to be using all of your buildings to send them off on a wild goose chase. Make sure that you use your buildings and send them trying to draw your players away from your engine rooms as opposed to towards them, because they're not going to have flares like we talked about there. And because this is the dev build, I can just add 19 million tokens and 3,400 keys. And then we also added some tech there, so we don't have to unlock anything. We're going to go on through here. We're going to get that next engine room and show you the decking. Getting that back corner. Maybe you're going to have an engine room somewhere in the front business, so people can't just head back there. But again, no one's going to have flares, so you're still going to be using your buildings to slow people down as much as you possibly can. Cruising on through, not showing a heck of a lot on costs or anything along those lines, but obviously in this instance that top path is the fastest path. Going naked this season is looking very appealing just to get to those seekers, but it might take way too long and you might fall way behind. So there we go. We've got the big Pac-Man chomp there, getting out even more engine rooms. And just because of this, I mean, you might see people putting all of their engine rooms way, way back in this neighborhood just to slow people down using all of their defenses. But just know that rocket choppers are somewhere on the horizon, way the heck over there. Wow, that's a long way to walk to get an engine room. Gonna be seeing some slow times early on in this season. Bombardiers, huge deal. That is going to be massive for so many players, and the fact that on the fastest path, like we talked about, going to be huge. And again, next level of engine rooms, once you get to 5, it's going to be looking something along those lines, getting engine rooms spread out as far as you possibly can. Maybe one of these comes down into this corner or something like that. Anyways, do consider subscribing for more strategy as we get to those engine rooms in the real game. Smoke, so huge. Seekers, so huge. Super Warriors, intriguing. As far as upgrading them, I assume let's just upgrade those. Yeah, they're going to get higher health, they're going to get more strength, they're going to get more healing, and they're just going to be more and more betterish. Now, the fact that it doesn't show damage per second until you max them is a little bit strange. I'll make sure to notify the dev team about that. Keeping on going though, getting that next engine room, and suddenly we turn into a donut. That is going to be a game changer, because now you can go either which way to get around to the other engine rooms. Don't have to worry about that cutout. Keeping on moving, trying to keep this as short as we possibly can. Getting into that 7 engine room level where things start to get super interesting. 7 engine rooms, full deck, absolutely huge deck in your face. So that is going to be, 7 engine rooms is going to be a lot of fun. Huge canvas to build all of your stuff. Now we're going to show you quickly all of these choice nodes just so you get a general idea of what they have in case you're interested. Scrolling through them as fast as we possibly can, just so that you can try to plan your game. That is going to be all though. Hopefully this gave you all of the details you needed. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Very curious to see what you guys' plans are, where you're planning on going, what your goals are. I haven't made a sneak peek like this in a long time, so let me know what you thought, if there's anything I missed, if there's anything you liked or didn't like. Otherwise, as always, I am ZMOT. Thank you for coming in. Do consider sticking around for my end screen so you can see the people who have been sponsoring, helping, backing the channel. Otherwise, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I might be giving away a prize just based on emojis that are in the comments, so consider throwing one of those. I'll talk to you soon. I've talked too much, and I'm ZMOT. Peace!